And the NBA basketball season is an 82-game season. It's condensed over about a 6-month period. And back in the 1990s, going into the early 2000s, they used to have this thing that coaches and players would call, kind of an inside joke, they would call it a schedule loss. And a schedule loss is a game that a team would lose, not necessarily because the other team was better than them, but simply because the way the schedule was set up, maybe one team has been traveling for a long time, the other team is comfortable, rested, and at home, and you would lose the game just because the other team had more energy than you did. And this is not as much of a thing these days, even though it's still an 82-game schedule, because these days, I don't know if you all follow basketball, but the players, if they're too tired to play in the games, they just don't play. But back then, they actually played in all the games, and sometimes you would lose the game just because of the energy discrepancy. So, 1995, the Chicago Bulls are on the road, and they've been on this long road trip. They've been traveling for about 2 weeks, and this is their next to last game of an 8-game road trip, and they're playing in Vancouver against this team called the Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies still exist. They've since moved to Memphis, Tennessee, but they were based in Vancouver, British Columbia back then. And this is one of those games that's looking like it might be a schedule loss for the Bulls. Now, the Bulls had this guy named Michael Jordan. You all know Michael Jordan, right? Okay, y'all didn't know him, would mess up my story. Okay, so Chicago Bulls are looked at as the best team in the league. Now, this is right after Jordan had come back from his little hiatus to play baseball. This is his first full season back, and he's looking like Michael Jordan again. And everyone's thinking, well, the Bulls are probably going to win the championship again. They're looking really good, best team in the league. Vancouver team, on the other hand, was the worst team in the league. They were really terrible. They're what they call an expansion team. This is when the NBA had added new teams to the league, and expansion teams are generally not very good. So you would think that the Bulls would win this game very easily, but because of the schedule, the Bulls have been traveling for about 2 weeks. The Grizzlies are at home. This is looking like maybe it'll be one of those schedule losses for the Bulls. And true to form, the Grizzlies are actually beating the Bulls in this game.